internet, your friendly neighborhood gremlin here, and today we're giving maybe my favorite villager a vacation home. What he asks for is an armchair archaeological site. I think what we give him is more palaeontological? Paleontology? Paleontological? I don't know. What I mean is I think it would be a better space for a paleontologist rather than an archaeologist. Though I suppose maybe if you count the number of artifacts we have in there, there may actually be more archaeology ones than paleontology ones. I'm sure the archaeologist is not going to do the whole natural fossil thing, because they just deal with like human remains and human leftovers. Maybe I did get it right, and it's just like lightly paleontological. Let me know down in the comments below how badly I screwed this up, because I just got too excited about the fossils. I totally just realized we probably should have given him an armchair. I didn't do that, so sorry, Tucker. I guess you're more of like a couch archaeologist? Is that a thing? It's not alliterative, so maybe it's not as good. I also discovered that this broken stone path flooring has mist on it, which is maybe one of the most exciting things I've discovered in Animal Crossing. And so while the new floor discovery is exciting, we're going to struggle a bit with wallpaper because none of the floors match the actual tone of the ruins wall, or even this wall here. It has a sort of like a greeny gray tone, which is not a color that seems to exist in Animal Crossing, except on walls. Also in the mossy castle walls, which is where I first discovered this problem. And this is apparently a problem no one else seems to have, because I can't even find like a custom floor that is the exact right green tone. If you've got one out there that matches that sort of gray-green tone, please let me know, because I could really use it. It would make my day so much better. We also struggled for a long time with getting the layout of this room right. Because Tucker is my favorite villager, I really wanted it to be good. I'm not sure that it is perfect, but I am very happy with it in the end. Do other people deal with this at the beginning of their builds, where they're like, I want this, and it's not happening, and I feel like somehow I'm a lie, and I'm not good at building, and it's never gonna be okay? It turns out alright in the end. Maybe that is just coincidental. I mean, I guess sometimes it doesn't turn out alright in the end. You've seen a couple of my sort of failed builds. Maybe all of it's a fluke, and I'm only good occasionally. To be very clear, that was not me asking you to tell me I'm good at building. It was significantly more, let me know if you also feel this way. But I mean, hey, this one turns out right in the end. We do make several very questionable decisions. However, that's just like par for the course at this point. If you're against my questionable decisions, you're probably not gonna like any of the videos, because I'm absolutely 100% not sold that I've ever made a video clear of questionable decisions entirely. My life would be way less fun if you only made safe choices. I feel bad about how excited he gets about that camping cot. It doesn't come in good colors, and so we had to abandon that for the sloppy bed. I'm wondering if maybe we should have sort of given him like a tent, if that would have been better. Like the inside of like one of those, like, it tends to get at like dig sites. I feel like that was probably what he was asking for. I think maybe the main problem is that all of the good ideas happen after the build is over, while I'm sitting here talking it out to you guys. Maybe I should try to do more live builds? I mean, genuinely, the only time we did try was Roswell's house, and we aborted that mission partway through, and you just got a voiceover, so you would have never known. Anyway, we're trying really hard to fit all of these ruins in here, and while I do fit a lot of them in, and I'm not sure it ends up perfect, I really love the way I did this sort of archway into the bedroom area. Again, I hate the gap, but I mean, we just have to live with it. That's the way it is. Either there's a gap or it's not there. And I do think it's a cool enough idea that I'm glad that it's there. Also, we are totally keeping our dinosaur friend. Absolutely not archaeology. Look, I'm not perfect. I can't be expected to know the difference all the time. I mean, I knew the difference. I did go to school for museum studies. However, it's one of those things where I don't always apply all of the knowledge I have in the situation in which I am present. Yeah, that doesn't always go so well for me. Also, I promised I would spin less. I didn't spin less. I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to spin less. I do promise, because it has to be annoying. It annoys me while I'm editing. It just feels a little bit like it helps me see where things are missing, because I often get to the point where it's like, this isn't right, but I don't know why it is not right, and now I will spin until somehow an idea comes to me. Just to be clear, we are going to put fossils on pretty much every flat surface that we have. I don't even put any books in this one. Well, I mean, there is 2 bookshelves, but I don't have any like books on the floor or stacked or any of that. No books, just fossils. I just got really excited about the fossils. They're one of those things that I just kind of forget exists because it's an entirely separate tab, and I just do not remember that they are there. If you don't count like the kitchen items, I'm pretty sure the only 2 non-fossil things that we put down are a globe and a typewriter. Oh, and also some gnomes. Lots of gnomes. I guess subjectively, only 2 gnomes, which, depending on who you ask, may be 2 gnomes too many. Here, however, we are all 4 gnomes, and so they show up everywhere, even when I don't mention it. Like yesterday, outside, just casual gnomes. You probably didn't even see it because you didn't get a good shot of the outside. But trust me, there was a gnome. Also, I do leave him on the floor like that, which again, questionable decision. But I thought putting him on the shelf or counter was a little bit too weird, and so he ends up on the floor. And then this guy just hangs out by the bed. In my defense, we put a hungry gnome in the kitchen and a sleepy gnome in the bedroom. So, absolutely, totally 100% logical. And totally not a coincidental occurrence based on the colors of the gnomes. We are thankfully going to head to the walls now, which is an exciting thing, I guess. I mean, he does get a pot rack and a knife bar. Is that what that's called? It's probably not called a knife bar. Anyway, usually you get sort of one or the other. Here he's come out on top with both. And of course, you cannot forget one of my favorite items, the bug heads. They don't have anything to do with paleontology or archaeology, but I like them, and so they are here. Best part of it is the bug heads are probably not the most questionable thing that I put on the walls. I think maybe that goes down to the Tree's Bounty mobile, which we hang above the dresser in the back for some unknowable reason. Again, questionable, but we've done it, and now it is there, and we can't turn back now. So, soldier on. Here, this wall here is going to turn out to be my favorite wall, I think. The composition is just really nice. It's sort of like a triangle almost. I don't know, I think it's cute. You can let me know if you hate it down below. I promise I won't be offended. But we've now hit ceiling territory, where we add in my bird because I do love my bird. Again, nothing to do with archaeology or paleontology. I just like him. And also a bunch of vines, because if the back wall has all those vines, I imagine there'd also be vines on the ceiling, maybe? I suppose logically this room doesn't make any sense. How was it constructed? How do the ruins on the back wall fit onto the rest of the build? This doesn't make any sense. Also, all the columns and pillars in the build. Did we build ourselves up around ruins? What happened? This is why we have vines on the ceiling. And our final interior touch is to give everybody a rug, because who wants to be walking on that stone floor all the time? I imagine it would hurt your feet, or be cold, or both. So, everybody gets a rug, and then we get to go outside, where I am significantly less successful. This is a pretty good shining example of me being bad at exteriors, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I just want to put all of the things in, and so we end up with too many things, and it is just kind of a mess. I was just going on about how great it is that we at least removed the grave, but if you think about it, archaeologists would be studying human graves, so probably not as logical as I thought it was. But instead we put in a giant rock head and a mammoth fossil, because he is a woolly mammoth, so maybe as an archaeologist woolly mammoth, he studies woolly mammoths and not people. I absolutely just said woolly mammoth too many times in a row there. Congratulations! And now we're going to spend a bunch of time trying to cover up the stand that the fossil is on, because I do not love the stand, but it will not go away. There's nothing we are able to do, or at least nothing I was able to do. And now we're going to try and put a skull behind the cave, because I thought that would be cool. It doesn't work. Again, these things are on 2 big stands. I wish I could make this work. I saw on somebody's island, I think it was a Harry Potter themed island, where they had a dragon, which they made out of fossils, and it was so cool. However, I do not succeed in doing that, and there is no dragon here. Maybe we'll just tell ourselves there's a dragon in that cave, that very tiny cave, with a very tiny dragon. Or maybe it's bigger on the inside. Who knows? I also sort of littered around a bunch of these like gyroid fragments, and by bunch again I mean 2. I think in theory that was a very clever idea, and I was supposed to like put dirt and stuff, but I got distracted by the fossils and didn't have a spot for that because I wanted too many fossils, and so we just kind of leave them on the lawn randomly. Again, it could have been a cool idea. It just wasn't. I really wish we had a button to change the style of the pillars surrounding the lot. Like, we can change the season and stuff, but I want to use the mossy pillars, and so I'm going to use the mossy pillars. But it's also a little bit weird because surrounding it is a bunch of white non-mossy pillars. But we are thankfully nearing the end of this outdoor monstrosity. First, we're going to try and cover the fossil stand again because I hate it. I really wish there was a way to just like cover it. I think the best bet would have been those like wheat fields, and I do use one. Only one. I don't know why I thought one was the most appropriate option. Probably just because there wasn't enough room because I put too many other mossy colored rocks and fossils in here that were more important somehow. If you know of a way to cover those fossil stands or how to make them look cool, because so many people use the fossils on their island and they make them look so cool, and then I put them on my island and they just look kind of dumb, like that person who made the dragon. That was really cool. But I don't know how I would I don't think I could do it, to be perfectly honest with you. And now we make it fall. And also evening, because evening is just better, I suppose. I don't know. We're gonna put a bunch of torches out because, well, I don't really know why, actually. And here's our wheat field, our one singular wheat field. And in my defense, it doesn't really cover the stand either. So what is the answer to covering the stand? It's probably just accepting that the stand is there, if we're being honest with ourselves. And it is now time for the reveal. So let's head inside and lower the lights, because it looks objectively better in this lower light, or at least I think so. Maybe let me know who your favorite villager is down below. I feel like Tucker only is mine because he is a woolly mammoth, and ever since I was a small child, I've really sort of been weirdly attached to the woolly mammoth. But I suppose this is the end of our video, so like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye!